Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another awesome Blender tutorial with me, Ryan, right here on Active TV. So last week we looked at building this awesome simulation with these bricks over here, and I took this ball over here and I threw it with the rigid body simulation. And something that I said that I would do is I would show you how to build something like this, all right, whether it's something, you know, like a brick wall like this, without having to create each one and then topping it on top of each other. Or another one that I did was something like this. And by the way, I learned this off a cool guy called Blender Guru. I'm sure a lot of, you know, like everybody knows Blender Guru. Andrew Price from Blender Guru, and he did something like this. And what I did was, in the process of learning on how to do it, I built the simulation myself, and then obviously I created my own one, which was that higher brick wall with the ball being thrown, just because there were more specific stuff in this one. If you go back to my tutorial, this is a rigid body, this is a rigid body, except for this one, it's, well, we took the dynamic off, and these are obviously active bodies. So then but you know, you sort of allow things to fall into each other. With my tutorial, if you go check it out, which I did last week, I actually animated the spoon, and I let the physics, the actual simulation engine do the rest of the work, right? The spoon had a rigid body, this had a rigid body, that had a rigid body, and so when the spoon animated, it threw itself into here. So that's why I then created my own. But I said that I would show you how to do these bricks over here without having to create each one individually, and it's something that is called a array modifier. So that's basically what our tutorial is going to be today. Nothing too fancy. I've already started looking into our next physics engine that we're going to be doing. Very cool. Can't wait to record that and show you guys. There's a lot on it. It has to do with a rigid body, and the cool tutorial that I show. I know a lot of right now you guys are like, Ryan, why are you telling us this right now? What does this help me? And yeah, so I've gotten into a lot more settings through you know, a lot of my other research in that. But anyway, so I'm going to show you how to quickly build that, how to build up something, how to use the array modifier. So something that I wanted to show you, if you don't know, if I'm wanting to get this square over here, you know, you can sit and you can, okay, I press G for grab, and then I press Z for in the Z axis, and then I just have to carefully place it on there. All right, so G for grab, holding down Control on a Mac and a Windows PC snaps it per block. So boom, there you go. So that's the first thing I do. All right, now I want to create a whole sort of brick wall here. All right, so I think the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to quickly alter this guy, face selection mode. I press tab for edit mode, and I press number 3 on my keypad on the top, not on, you know, my top left hand side, not my right hand side. I'm selecting faces. I'm going to press S for scale, X in the X axis, yes, and then I'm just going to bring it down like maybe like that. So grab this guy over here, grab, and I've got one brick. Fantastic. All right, there you go. So now we're going to multiply our brick. Boom. So I think, yes, okay. Modifier tab over here, and it is this awesome guy called Array Modifier. Now automatically you can see it's already duplicated my brick. So how this works is that is the amount of bricks you want to duplicate. Okay, wow, cool, hey. All right, and then this is the offset. So I'm offsetting it in the x-axis by a whole 1, which is the whole of the entire brick. Okay, but now something that you want to pay attention to. So wait, first of all, all right, I want quite a couple of bricks, isn't it? You are wanting to apply the rigid body to it. If these bricks are right next to each other, which it is, all right, you'll see if I go into edit mode, until I apply this rigid body, it's still one object. So whatever I do to this one object, it'll do to all of them together. So going back to rigid body, if I have to add a rigid body onto this object right now, it's not going to do good enough. All right, and I'll show you why. We'll get there. So first of all, it's important that I go by itself 1.0, and I think I said 3, and that will leave just a bit of a gap there. All right, pretty cool. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to do, all right, I'm going to add another one, because now we need to do on top. Now by default, it's going to use that. Okay, I'm going to 0 this guy. Something I'm doing different this week is I've actually got my Mac, because this is a Mac, my Mac on a external display, and I've got a mouse and keyboard connected. I do prefer Blender on a mouse and keyboard. It's just so much easier. I've gotten used to the trackpad. You do get used to the trackpad, so either way, just yeah, I do like the mouse button and that. Plus you've got that little dial button at the bottom to get focus on your object again. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my previous tutorials. Right, so now when I go up, which is in the z-axis, I'm going to do the same thing, 1, 0, 3, and I can just do that together. Right, so that's pretty cool. So now the question is, here's the challenge, right? Because I like going just a little step forward. You see, whenever I learn something, I'm like, that's cool, I wonder if I can, and then I get creative, right? So what if, okay, anybody who knows bricklaying, bricks are not laid like straight up vertical, you know, all like that, because they'll fall over. More, they're kind of crisscrossed. Okay, what am I talking about? Let me show you. So, all right, I've just undone as Command Z or Control Z. I'm going to redo this guy. So I've just got those small little gaps there like that. Right, I want 2 bricks. Okay, so I'm doing this right now, as in, I've showed you how to do it, all right? Yes, so let's do that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply this guy, okay? I'm just letting you know that I myself, I have my, yes, I think I know what I'm gonna do, but I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to try this. I'm going to add another array modifier. Now the other brick, I want actually, instead of them running like this, I want them running, instead of them running along the Y, I actually want them running along the X. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to undo. I'm not going to create that guy. And I think the important thing for me to do right now is is to, yes, so I've applied it. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate this guy in the x-axis. Right, I just want to try this. If I grab it, x1, okay, let's say I say 2, no, G for grab, x1, 0, 3. I don't think that works. I was just trying it, you know what I'm saying? That's how you learn stuff. Okay, not a problem. Grab X, let's get it about over there. Okay, what do you guys think? Do you think that's good enough? Okay, now I'm gonna right click, set origin. I'm gonna say origin to geometry. That puts it in the middle. I'm going to rotate along the Z 90 degrees. Boom, there it is. Okay, now the one flaw that I have here that I've already discovered is that my bricks are not completely square. Otherwise, you know, that would have fit quite nicely in there. So okay, no problem. Let's quickly fix that, shall we? Okay, from here you can obviously see grab X. I'm gonna make it them perfectly the same. Okay, right, I think what I would need to do is just go before I even apply this array modifier, and I'm just going to grab X, do it like that. What do you think? See, we can get all sorts of creative about this. So face selection, go on top, scale it along the Y. Right, what the hell is Ryan doing? All right, now let's continue. Array modifier, I'm going to do 2 bricks. I'm going to expand this until I'm happy. So let's say 1,15. Brilliant. Okay, then I'm going to apply it. All right, so we're going for more like a face brick kind of look. Right click, set origin. What this does is it is putting the pivot point right in the center over there, so that when I duplicate, move it to the X, and I rotate along the Z 90 degrees. Right, okay, I'm happy. Are you happy? Yes, you are very happy. Okay, I think you guys get at where I'm getting to, so I'm gonna select this whole thing. I am going to join it together, so it's one object. We're going to be separating it just now, and you will see why. You will see why. You won't see X or Z. Okay, then here we go. Array modifier, zero it over there. Let's see if we're running into any problems. I have a suspicion there's one problem we might run into. How interesting is that? Alright, by the way, if you want to go the other way, minus. Okay, there you go. Now that is not bad. That is not bad at all. Okay, let's... Yes. Great stuff. So that's how bricks are laid. Anybody want to dispute that one? Anyone? Okay, I'm going to apply it. Now let's continue. Array modifier, put in the x-axis, but we are going to do it in the z-axis. All right. Oops. 1,03. All right. Brilliant. Oh, do you see the problem? Yes, of course we do. That's not right. It's supposed to be literally, yeah, the other way around. See, told you, we're going to run into problems. Okay. Anyway, this is Ryan on Blender Tutorials, and yeah, so I've showed you how to use the Array Modifier. I'm just joking. I'm not going to do that to you. Let's quickly solve this guy. We're going to do this in 5 minutes. So, you know what I think? I think we're going to duplicate this. Let's see what happens. All right. Let's do quite a few. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. Maybe let's say 15, right? Because we want quite a high wall. Okay, awesome. Brilliant. Now, I'm going to apply that array modifier. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this object. I'm going to press escape. Then I'm going to R for rotation, Z 180 degrees. Someone's already telling me that, nope, that's not going to work, Mr. Van der Sant. That's my surname, by the way, Van der Sant. Okay, grab in Z, get it between there. Okay, I don't exactly have a mouse pad, so I'm going to just grab my, yeah, okay, and grab X. Now, if you remember how we worked with the blocks, remember with my grid, I worked with my grid. I'm still on my trackpad now, just so you know. Alright, great. Alt A, and I would say that looks like quite a handsome wall. There are some small room for improvements, but I'm happy with that. Now, if you apply the physics to this, remember we are still working with one object. All right, I'm going to tab. Okay, not necessarily one object, but yeah, this isn't going to work as well. And the reason being, and I guess this is where the lesson comes, is that you've actually got to separate each item individually, each brick individually, because then the array, the actual rigid body is going to apply a rigid simulation, whatever you want to call it, body to each item. Okay, so how the heck do we do that? Right, so first of all, what we need to do is right click, then you're going to, this is quite a interesting, everybody say hello to my wife. My wife has just walked in. She's taking her MacBook charger and now she's walking out. She thought she'd not be noticed. She's noticed. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. You have to wait. First of all, you're sitting with two objects here, the lower and the top. So I'm going to select both of them. I'm going to right click. I'm going to say join them. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to make sure I've got everything selected by pressing A. Alright, I'm in edit mode now, and I'm going to go, I think it's mesh, yes, separate, and you're going to separate by loose parts. Separate by loose parts. Now if you look here in your, you've got all those bricks. Awesome, hey? Then before you go wild, if I add my rigid body simulation to this, it's still not going to work. It's going to work around the pivot point. Now remember, the first brick that we selected when we did the pivot point, that's where it's still sitting. So the great thing is that with everything still selected, okay, I can right click. Let's go out of edit mode, object mode, right click with all of my bricks. Remember, this is not one big object, this is a whole lot of little objects. So right click, and I can still go to set like we did before, origin to geometry. Now every brick has their own, yes, has their own pivot point, which is great. And with that said and done, you want to save. Okay, there you go, and there's your bricks. By the way, you can see there's these gaps over here. So I guess when I first shifted those first layers, you actually want to have this brick over here laying over like that. I think this is going to be a problem. I'm sure a lot of bricklayers are throwing their toys out the cot right now at me. You know, that's not how you do it. Okay, it makes a lot of sense. But anyway, so I've basically showed you the array modifier. We've gone a little bit more, we've done something a little bit further than what I did before, so that's pretty cool. It's good to challenge yourself because you learn things. See, I've learned now about bricklaying, pretty awesome. And next time I do a wall like this, right, that's how I'm going to do it. And I think I'm going to call this Blender tutorial, how to create a brick wall. Okay, obviously there's the cement between. If you want to do the cement between, you can just do one solid object. And my next tutorial that we're going to be doing is fracturing. All right, and so maybe what we'll do is we'll see if we can smash this wall, break this wall down. So obviously with that said and done, right, you can right click. Now, yes, you can right click on here. Sorry. As I showed you in my previous tutorial, you can select your cube. You can add in your rigid body. You can select all of the other bricks. And you can say object, rigid body, copy from active. Now here's something cool that I learned, right? If you're going to be working with this quite often, you can add this instead of person having to keep going into here. You're able to just right click on here and say assign shortcut, or yeah, add to quick favorites. That's it. Then whenever I need that function, I can just press Q. I can just press Q, and there is my menu. Pretty cool. Copy from active. And it's busy applying it, that's why it's freezing like that. Okay, so that's how you do that. That's how you use the array modifier. And next week we're going to be looking at rigid bodies. We're going to be looking in depth. There's also some stuff that I'm going to show you that we're adding into rigid bodies that helps with fracturing. So fracturing is now when you add cracks and you break things and smash glass, etc, etc, etc. Coming up next week, I found a really cool YouTube channel with a guy that does it, and he is very the word like, you know, takes everything into consideration. I'm just like, man, throw it on there, man, let the thing hit it, and okay, it looks right, awesome. So I will be sharing that with you, and yes, I will in the link below next week give you the links to my other channels. Okay, so with that said and done, so there's my rigid bodies. Okay, let's see what happens if I press play. There you go. Obviously they're going to fall away. There is no here we go, just to finish this off. All right, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to press play, and then we're going to end. All right, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you get notifications, because that's what you want to do, so that whenever we release cool videos like this, guess what, you know about it, because you're going to get a notification. All right, so there you go. There's my brick wall. Did you see the way it squashed together? Pretty awesome, quite nice, quite simple, quite quick. Okay, cool. So that's it, people. See you next week on same place, same time. Well, not same time, but yeah, same place. See you then. Cheers,